Let's talk about dongles. So the Steam Deck already came out with their own dongle, and there's other third-party dongles out there. But if you're a person like me and you like to have a dongle that can be multi-purpose, let's say for a laptop, especially a MacBook, particularly the MacBook Air M1, because that's the one I have, and it only has 2 USB-C ports, but this one only has 1 USB-C port. So if you wanted to do anything like add a controller that, or maybe external fan and some type of mod that you're going to do, you're going to need a dongle. So there's a couple different things about each and every one of these dongles, except for these two are pretty much the same except for one characteristic, and these two are actually older models and don't have PD charging, and this one is USB-A, but this one does have an Ethernet jack with additional 3 USB-A ports. This Anchor one is an older style Anchor, works great, has pretty much everything these all have, except doesn't have an Ethernet and it doesn't have PD charging. So obviously something like this is not going to work well for a Steam Deck just because you can't charge. Works great for like a MacBook, things like that, but not for a Steam Deck. Let's just take this one out of equation. PD charging is important. Everything else doesn't matter. This one's irrelevant. Sorry for the quick video break. This is your boy Nas, aka DIY Poppy. Just not the hands. If you haven't seen my face, this is what I look like. The hands behind the face, behind the hands, or hands behind, whatever. Quick break in the video just to let you know that I'm doing a challenge for subscribers. I'm holding myself out for subs, but the thing I'm holding out for is pull-ups. Meaning, for every sub I get, I'm gonna do a pull-up. Standards of the pull-up, all strict, and I'm gonna be able to chin-ups or regular pull-ups. This is a chin-up, also known as a supinated pull-up. Palms gonna face my face, head through at the bottom, head through at the top, to the top. That's a chin-up. Now here's a pull-up. Palms are gonna be facing away from my face. Same thing, head through at the bottom. Oh, it's at the top. Oh, that's pull-up. To keep this challenge honest, I will be uploading pull-ups I've done every week for each subscriber to my channel as a YouTube short. If you want to see your boy just get wrecked, go ahead and hit that sub, share this video with a friend, tell them to hit the sub. This is gonna get nasty. I'm gonna really regret this, but I'm gonna do it as long as I can for y'all. Appreciate it, love ya. Now let's get back to the video. So if you have a dongle, or you're looking at dongles, you gotta make sure there's PD charging. These two both have PD charging. You'll see that right there. Lightning bolt, there, lightning bolt. This one's about $20 on Amazon, very cheap. This one's about $27, $28 on Amazon. These two are basically the same, except for this one has Ethernet, this one doesn't. They all have 4K 60 Hertz, and they all have USB-As, and this one has a extra USB-C, so this one's actually better in that regard, but no Ethernet. But let's say you're like me and you have a spare USB-A dongle Ethernet jack. You could potentially just go ahead and plug this bad boy in, and now this one is just like this one, but better, because you have more USB-A and you have Ethernet now. But obviously it comes with more bulk. Overall cheaper. I think you can get this all together on Amazon for about 30 bucks. But remember, this one is roughly the same range, but this one has more ports. This one has a lot less ports. So you choose, you decide which one works best for you. But one thing all of these three have in common is they're all 5 gigabits data. And what that means is throughout all your ports, and I believe including the HDMI, you only can transfer about 5 gigabits of data through this dongle alone. That's it. If you go exceed that, you're done. It's not gonna work. Your dongle will lock out, and that will happen to every single one of these, including if you add a second dongle to the center one, because now this gigabit Ethernet is going to eat up 1 gigabit of the 5 available gigabits on this dongle. So you can see that there could be some serious issues with going a lot cheaper on your dongles. Across the board, they all have that same issue. But does that issue matter to you is the real question. For a normal use Steam Deck, that's not a big issue. 5 gigabits more than enough, more than enough. This one probably would be the path of least resistance, cheaper, has everything you want, everything you need for under $30. And It's 5 gigabits, so you're not going to have any data transfer issues regarding any over the USB or SD. But if you start packing in, let's say you plug this into your computer and you have your external display, you have your micro SD plugged in, and let's say you have a webcam and maybe something else attached to this other one, let's call it external mice, then you might be running into some data limits. But for overall, for a Steam Deck, this should be just fine, more than adequate for most people. They also have dongles with the M.2 accessory attached to them, so you could potentially use that as well. Honestly, I don't really see any point of doing that. Micro SD, larger micro SD will do pretty much the same overall. No, I don't think most people would see a noticeable difference between an M.2 micro SD or a high capacity USB-C or a USB-A USB drive. For the most part, people will be just fine with the SD. But let's say you want to go all or nothing. You want the cream of the crop. You want to plug in a 4K, a mic, everything, external hard drive, everything to your dongle, whether you're on your Steam Deck or any laptop. Then you want to kind of upgrade a little bit, and this range is kind of anywhere between the $55 to like $120 range. And the only reason I say 55 is because you can buy a secondhand one of these. So this is the Anker A8383, and basically it does everything does in this table, except it has 10 gigabits. So it has the 4K, it has PD charging, it has an additional USB-C, which has Ethernet, 1 gigabit Ethernet, SD, micro SD, and then 2 USB-As. So all in all, this is a great system. So there are some deficiencies in this. But if you have one of these, and these can handle 10 gigabits, there's no reason why you couldn't daisy chain it with another dongle. Meaning if you needed to, let's say you wanted 2 SD cards, you could literally daisy chain your old one with your new one, just like so, and you will have an extra micro SD, you would have an additional 2 USB-As, and you'd still have a lot of bandwidth for every other attachment you needed. So that's one good thing about going bigger. You can always add more to it. And so for me, this is the way I needed to go. And that's because I needed the extra bandwidth to do streaming on my MacBook, and couldn't have my SD card, my 4K camera, my mic, my hard drive all attached to one of these dongles. Bandwidth limit was too much, and I needed to upgrade. So, in takeaway, so you don't really need this one for just your Steam Deck. This is a little bit way too overkill. You can easily go cheaper, get this Ugreen one. You have the best of both worlds. It's $30. Or you can go even cheaper if you don't want to use Ethernet and get one of these. And I believe they even have an upgraded model of this one. I'll post that too, with the Ethernet for like $24, $25 on Amazon. And this will work just fine. So remember, you still have the 5 gigabits limit on these two. So this is perfectly fine for your Steam Deck. Wanted to do this video because I was having issues picking the right dongle for myself, so I took whatever I learned from it and now I'm giving it to you. So hopefully you guys found this video informative. I'm not a complete expert of this, but this is just what I've learned in the past week looking for the right dongle for me. Hopefully that you guys learned something and you know whether or not you need to go on the high end, mid, low, or jerry rig something together just to get what you need out of it. And if you have any questions, concerns, leave them in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit that like. If you loved it, hit that subscribe. And if you really want to help the channel out, go ahead and visit us at DIYpoppy.net and go ahead and pick up one of our t-shirts. But other than that, my name is Naz. I'll catch you guys on the next one.